Here are the top stories for today, March 25, 2020. President Duterte thanked Congress for special powers to address the coronavirus disease outbreak in the country. The World Health Organization stresses the importance of social distancing. The Health Department warns TB patients not to go out amid the threat of COVID-19. And Palace welcomes the CPP's recommendation of unilateral ceasefire. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. President Rodrigo Duterte on Tuesday night thanked Congress for granting the Executive Department with special powers to address the coronavirus disease outbreak in the country. Here is our report.
President Duterte thanked Congress for granting special powers to the Executive Department. He made special mention of Senate President Vicente Soto III and House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano for their strong and decisive leadership in pushing for the proposed measure's passage. He expressed his sincerest gratitude to members of both houses of Congress who sponsored and voted for the measure. The Bayanihan to Heal as One Act gives Duterte authority to realign the government's national budget as the country faces a health crisis. He also expressed the need to cut red tape for fast delivery of medical supplies and equipment to health facilities.
Kung gusto niyo magloko, huwag ngayon itong panahon na ito. We only have one common enemy, and that is COVID-19. Our transparency, integrity, accountability, and responsiveness are needed, and I expect all of you to exercise all these in safeguarding our fellow Filipinos.
President Duterte also recognized health workers as heroes for risking their lives to treat infected patients and admitted that he was saddened to hear that some had died after contracting the disease.
Bihira akong sumasaludo ng tao. Pero pa yung mga doktor natin, mga health workers na nadisgrasya, talagang saludo ako sa inyo.
Duterte also assured all Filipinos that government is working to safeguard their health, safety, and well-being in the face of the health threat.
I assure the public that the government will be on top of this situation at all times. We will not leave anyone behind.
He said supplies of food, water, and other essentials will be provided to households throughout this ordeal, while financial assistance will be extended to those in the margins and the vulnerable groups. He also appealed for patience, understanding, and cooperation by staying indoors.
I repeat, stay home, huwag matigas ang ulo. The outcome of this war depends largely on you as well.
For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
President Rodrigo Duterte has signed a law that allows him special powers to step up the government's fight against COVID-19. The new law gives Duterte special powers for a limited time to help his administration address the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. Following the signing of the law, Duterte now has the authority to adopt and implement measures to prevent the further transmission of COVID-19. The president is also authorized to expedite the medical testing for COVID-19 and the immediate treatment of people who contracted the virus. The law also allows the realignment of the government's national budget and temporarily direct the operations of privately owned hospitals, medical and health facilities, and other establishments to house health workers. Duterte can also adopt measures aimed at protecting people from hoarding or profiteering. The law is effective only for 2 months but can be enforced longer if the calamity will persist, as may be determined by the president. The new law may also be withdrawn earlier through a Congress resolution or a presidential proclamation. A lawmaker on Tuesday stressed the need to provide a rapid disbursement mechanism in the distribution of emergency subsidies. Under the proposed Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, House Ways and Means Chair Joey Salceda said different conduits and channels must be considered for the distribution of the proposed emergency assistance worth 5,000 to 8,000 pesos to around 18 million low-income households for 2 months. He said, if we will heal as one, as the bill hopes to do, no one must be left behind, so the lists have to be as inclusive as possible. Lozada also suggested to open up the grants for applications so that those who are proved to be severely affected by the enhanced community quarantine could qualify. Lozada said the tax reform cash transfer of the DSWD and the COVID Adjustment Measures Program or CAMP of the Labor Department can be good primary vehicles. Other conduits and lists include the Tulong Paghanap Buhay sa Ating Disadvantaged or Displaced Workers or TUPAD, self-employed lists of the Social Security System, sole proprietors and gig workers, the registry system for basic sectors in agriculture for farmers and fisherfolk, and the DILG's data on barangay officials and barangay health workers. The Philippine National Police on Tuesday asked local government units to comply with the uniform rules on home quarantine crafted by the Joint Task Force Coronavirus Shield. The PNP in particular wants to ensure that cargo and other vehicles delivering food and other basic needs will have a smooth travel. PNP Deputy Chief for Operations Lieutenant General Guillermo Eleazar made the call after citing reports that some local government units intercept cargo trucks and other vehicles delivering basic necessities to various areas in Luzon. He said the guidelines crafted by the Joint Task Force clearly states that the travel of the cargo from one town or city to another should be unhampered to prevent a shortage of food and other basic supplies during the Luzon-wide enhanced community quarantine. He said the Joint Task Force is now coordinating with all police regional directors down to the city and municipal police chiefs for the cascading of the simplified rules on how the quarantine must be implemented. Eleazar also reminded local government units about the statements of President Duterte and Interior Secretary Eduardo Año to respect the decision of the IATF on all COVID-19 related measures. Free Wi-Fi are now available for frontline health workers, and authorities strengthen efforts to combat fake news. More on this from Lade Cabagani.
Free carrier-grade Wi-Fi are now available on numerous health facilities and public establishments to ensure that frontline workers will have access to accurate information amid the coronavirus disease. Smart Communications said carrier-grade fiber-powered smart Wi-Fi is now available at the city halls of Manila, Malabon, Mandaluyong, Muntinlupa, Navotas, Parañaque, Pasay, Quezon, San Juan, Taguig, and Valenzuela. Free Wi-Fi access has also been installed in the provinces, particularly in Benguet and the Baguio City Hall, Lawag City Hall in Ilocos Norte, the city and municipal halls of Baliwag, Bukawe, Marilao, Malolos, and Mecawayan in Bulacan, at the municipal halls of Tansa, Bacoor, and Trece Marites in Cavite, at the provincial capital of Laguna, and in the city and municipal halls of Binyan, Cabuyao, Carmona, and Santa Rosa, at the provincial capital of Batangas, and in the city and municipal halls of Santo Tomas and Tanawan, and at the City Hall of Puerto Princesa in Palawan. The free Wi-Fi service has also been rolled out in similar establishments in Visayas and Mindanao. Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police has formed a task force that will go on after fake news peddlers on social media in a bid to prevent disinformation amid the coronavirus disease 2019. Over the weekend, the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group or PNP ACG arrested 2 suspects for sowing disinformation and selling products that allegedly cure COVID-19 online. The PCOO earlier launched the government's virtual portal that serves as a one-stop source for the latest information about COVID-19. The website contains aggregated news, documents, and videos that the public can find useful as they monitor updates on the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. In other news, the PNP reminds that only a few people are allowed in the wakes and burials. During the Laging Handa briefing, Lieutenant General Guillermo Eleazar said only the immediate family as well as priests, pastors, or ministers are allowed to attend the wakes of their deceased relatives. Funeral services are considered essential and are allowed to continue operations during the quarantine period under the guidelines of the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Disease. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Lade Cabagani.
Still to come, The World Health Organization stresses the importance of social distancing, and the Health Department warns TB patients not to go out amid the threat of COVID-19. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Sa matinding laban natin sa Coronavirus Disease 2019, sugpuin din natin ang pagkalat ng fake news. Huwag magbahagi ng impormasyon na hindi tiyak ang pinagmulan. I-check mabuti ang source ng balita. Kumuha lamang ng impormasyon mula sa mga official channel ng Department of Health. Huwag magpadala sa maling balita, basta't sama-sama at laging handa. Kaya natin to. Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Tandaan ang tamang paraan ng paghuhugas at paglilinis ng kamay upang makaiwas sa iba't ibang karamdaman. Basain ng tubig ang mga kamay at sabunin. Unang sabunin ang mga palad at ang likod ng mga kamay. Kuskusin na maigi ang pagitan ng mga daliri at maging ang mga kuko. Isunod ang pagitan ng mga hinlalaki at kuskusin ng paikot ang mga dulo ng mga daliri sa magkabilang palad. Banlawang mabuti ang mga kamay sa malinis na tubig at patuyuin ang mga kamay gamit ang single-use towel o air dryer. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Pangalagaan ang sarili laban sa Coronavirus Disease 2019. Hanggat maaari, umiwas sa mataong lugar. Iwasang hawakan ang ilong at bibig, maging malinis sa katawan at ugaliin ang wastong paghuhugas ng kamay. Takpan ang ilong at bibig kung uubo o babahing. Umiwas sa mga taong nagpapakita ng sintomas ng coronavirus disease gaya ng lagnat, ubo at sipon. Magsuot ng face mask kung kinakailangan. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa. Kaya natin to. Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
The World Health Organization encourages Filipinos to do their part in slowing down and limiting the spread of COVID-19 by strictly observing social and physical distancing measures. During the Laging Handa public briefing on Tuesday, WHO Country Representative Dr. Rabindra Abiyasinghe said the Philippine government is doing what it has to do, and it is now the responsibility of everyone to maintain physical distancing, especially to people who are vulnerable. He said we need to make efforts as individuals and families to protect the vulnerable in this phase. On March 16, the government imposed a Luzon-wide enhanced community quarantine to limit the spread of the disease, which has so far no cure as of yet. Abiyasinghe lauded the quick move, saying it was necessary to buy time to flatten the curve. During the month-long quarantine period, Filipinos are encouraged to stay at home and observe social and physical distancing. The Department of Health also reminds the public to avoid crowded places and maintain a distance of 1 meter from another person, especially when going to supermarkets or drugstores. The Department of Health advises extra caution for those undergoing treatment for tuberculosis due to the higher risk of exposure to COVID-19. More on this from Joyce Cudis.
The Department of Health urged on Tuesday Filipinos undergoing treatment for active tuberculosis disease to secure a month's supply of their free medicines to prevent going to health facilities daily. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III said this is in light of the enhanced community quarantine enforced in Luzon and other parts of the country due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The DOH reported that about 37,500 patients received their treatment regimen since the start of 2020, while close to 330,000 Filipinos were enrolled for TB treatment in 2019. Duque said those with TB are at higher risk of getting COVID-19. The DOH, together with the Philippine Coalition Against Tuberculosis, World Health Organization, and the United States Agency for International Development, also launched a new communication campaign dubbed #TBFreePH. The end goal is to reduce TB deaths by 15% from an estimated 26,000 in 2018 to 22,000 in 2023. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization warned that do-it-yourself facial masks are not 100% protective but can provide some degree of protection. WHO Country Representative Dr. Rabindra Abiysanghe said there is a global shortage of personal protective equipment, which include facial masks and should be reserved for frontliners and healthcare workers. He said that WHO's call was for everybody in the private sector to support the government's efforts in procuring and supplying PPE, so that healthcare workers will feel protected and secured as they care for COVID-19 patients. On March 21, the government received some 10,000 pieces of N95 masks, 100,000 surgical masks, and 10,000 PPE from China. Senator Manny Pacquiao also donated 600,000 face masks to various frontliners in the country. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Joyce Goodies.
Checkpoints at a town in Pampanga use scare tactics to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Meanwhile, Baguio residents are told to plant vegetables for their survival. More on these and other news from the provinces from Teresa Montemayor.
Coffins with the message "Stay home" or "Stay inside" have been put up in every control point in Santo Tomas, Pampanga. This is to scare off travelers as a way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus disease or COVID-19. In Pangasinan, the city government of Alaminos bought about 730 kilos of vegetables and 10 tons of fruits from farmers in its upland barangays, and these were distributed as relief goods to the residents. The vegetables and fruits were bought from the farmer residents at a break-even cost, and the veggies were already distributed along with other relief goods to some 600 families. The city also shouldered the transport of the products. In Baguio City, the local government is urging residents to plant vegetables via survival gardens amid the COVID-19 spread. The repacked vegetable seeds are distributed by the City Veterinary and Agriculture Office to the villages to establish their respective veggie gardens as an emergency response to COVID-19 pandemic. The survival gardens can save the families in case of a food supply shortage. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Teresa Montemayor.
And in our business news, the continuing challenges brought by COVID-19 have prompted flag carrier Philippine Airlines to suspend temporarily its international flights from March 26 until April 14. PAL limited its international operations after the government lifted the suspension on international flights on March 18. Spokesperson Shelo Villaluna said PAL has since observed a substantial number of no-show passengers for outbound and inbound flights. In an advisory, the carrier announced that some flights would continue to arrive in Manila from Los Angeles, Narita, and Jakarta on March 26, and from New York, San Francisco, and Los Angeles on March 27. PAL aims to resume operations starting April 15, depending on the situation. On March 17, PAL also halted its domestic flight operations when the entire Luzon was placed under a month-long enhanced community quarantine. Up next, Palace welcomes the CPP's recommendation of unilateral ceasefire. And Tokyo Olympics is officially postponed to safeguard the health of the athletes. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Alamin kung paano ang tamang pagsusuot ng surgical mask. Una, hawakan ang mask sa strap at siguruhing natatakpan nito ang inyong bibig at ilong. Tandaan, ang may kulay na bahagi ng mask ang dapat nasa labas. Ito lamang ang tamang paraan ng pagsuot nito. Ihulma ang nose piece o maliit na metallic strip ayon sa hugis ng inyong ilong. Iwasan ang paghawak sa inyong ilong at bibig. Kung marumi na ang mask, hubarin ito gamit ang strap at itapon ito sa isang basurahan. Siguruhin ang maayos na paghuhugas ng kamay gamit ang sabon at tubig. Ang surgical mask ay dapat gamitin ng mga pasyenteng may sakit sa baga o mga taong mayroong ubo, sipon at lagnat, mga nag-aalaga sa mga may sakit, at mga healthcare at frontline workers. Maaari ring magsuot nito kung kayo ay pupunta sa matataong lugar. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Alamin ang tamang paraan ng pag-ubo upang mapigilan ang paglaganap ng coronavirus disease 2019. Ugaliing magdala ng panyo o tissue. Kung uubo o babahing, takpan ang buong ilong at bibig gamit ang panyo o tissue. Kung walang dalang panyo o tissue, maaaring gamitin ang braso na pantakip. Kung nakararamdam na kailangan umubo o bumahing, agad na dumistansya sa mga tao sa paligid. Huwag dumura kung saan-saan, gumamit ng tissue at itapon sa basurahan. Ugaliin ang paghuhugas ng kamay at paggamit ng alcohol o hand sanitizer upang mamatay ang mikrobyo. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Alamin ang mga dapat gawin sa lugar ng trabaho laban sa coronavirus disease 2019. Ang mga kumpanya ay dapat magbigay ng face mask sa kanilang mga empleyado. Bukod dito, magbigay kaalaman din patungkol sa COVID-19. Siguraduhing malinis ang kapaligiran. Maglagay ng sabon at hand sanitizer sa mga palikuran. Siguraduhing ligtas at nalutong maigi ang mga pagkain sa kantina. Obserbahan ang kalusugan ng mga empleyado at katrabaho. Kung sakali man na mayroon silang sintomas ng coronavirus disease, gaya ng lagnat, ubot sipon at hirap sa paghinga, ay agad ipasuri sa doktor. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
Malacanang on Tuesday welcomed the recommendation of Communist Party of the Philippines founder Jose Maria Sison to observe its own unilateral ceasefire amid the global fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said Sison's decision to respond to the call of the United Nations for an immediate global ceasefire is a positive development. Panelo said Filipinos deserved a safe and peaceful environment where movement of health workers, medical supplies, food and other needs are unimpeded. He said the government welcomes the cooperation of all, including those in the left, to realize absolute peace. He expressed hope that Sison and communist rebels would make good and stay true to their words. Sison said there is a need to refrain from launching tactical offenses to gain time and opportunity to look after people's health and welfare. However, he noted that the NPA must be vigilant to defend themselves against attacks by government forces. Surigao del Sur police have arrested Rolly Mahilum, the prime suspect in the murder of DXBF Prime Broadcasting Network Operations Manager and anchor Christopher Lozada in October 2017. Mahilum was arrested on Monday morning in Barangay San Vicente 2, Tagbina. Earlier, Judge Merlin Pacaro Canedo of the Bislig City Regional Trial Court Branch 29 issued a warrant of arrest against Mahilum for the murder of Lozada and frustrated murder of Lozada's companion Honey Faith Toyko. PT-FOM's co-chair and Presidential Communications Operations Office Secretary Martin Andanar commended the police for bringing Mahilum to justice despite the ongoing COVID-19 emergency. Meanwhile, PT-FOM's Executive Director, Undersecretary Jose Joel C. Egco said the PT-FOM's continued monitoring of all media killings in the country is now reaping more arrests and convictions of perpetrators. Mahilum was positively identified when the radio anchor was murdered on October 24, 2017. Egco said the PT-FOM shall continue to monitor and inform the public on the developments of the media killing cases and threats against media workers in the country. In our foreign news, Chinese authorities will lift the months-long lockdown in the city of Wuhan, where the coronavirus was first detected on April 8. Local media reported on Tuesday that health authorities in Hubei province have declared a series of new regulations regarding easing restrictions on the movement in the area. Authorities had put the city of 11 million under lockdown on January 23rd in order to stem the spread of COVID-19, which killed nearly 3,300 people and infected over 81,000 in mainland China. The decision comes after the city reported no new indigenous infection in the last 5 days. However, a new positive case was reported in the city on Tuesday. There are over 380,000 confirmed cases worldwide, and the death toll now tops 16,500, while over 101,000 people have already recovered. And in sports, the Summer Olympics, originally scheduled this year in Tokyo, was officially postponed on Tuesday night. The decision was agreed upon by the International Olympic Committee, led by President Thomas Bach and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to grow. The Games would be rescheduled to a date beyond 2020, but not later than summer of 2021. Before the announcement, both the IOC and Abe hinted that the postponement of the quadrennial meet, originally scheduled from July 24 till August 9, would be the viable option at this point. Despite technically becoming the 2021 Olympiad, the official name of the Tokyo Summer Olympics and the ensuing Paralympics, Olympic and Paralympic Games Tokyo 2020, would be kept. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. President Duterte thanked Congress for special powers to address the coronavirus disease outbreak in the country. The World Health Organization stresses the importance of social distancing. The Health Department warns TB patients not to go out amid the threat of COVID-19. And Palace welcomes the CPP's recommendation of unilateral ceasefire. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out more news content, check our webpage or head onto the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And as the Philippines combats the COVID-19 pandemic with the rest of the world, let us take this opportunity to heal as one and to pray as one nation, one people. At this moment where everybody is at home, we have time to reflect on what is really important in our lives. Let's take it to heart, and the soonest we can combat this disease, the faster it will be for us to get back on our feet. God bless everyone. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo. Good day.